Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at the first part in our series of how to create our 7-inch trivet in Autodesk Inventor. Okay, this is the part that we're looking at right now. You can also reference this drawing as a PDF in Blackboard. Let's get started. Today we're going to go up to the top to Orange File, and you're going to go down to New. We're going to select standard.ipt, click. And we're going to start with a 2D sketch. We're going to place that on our XY plane. We're going to click Front in our World View Cube to zoom out a little bit. Starting off, if you take a look at our trivet, we're going to start off with a 7-inch by 7-inch square, and we're going to extrude it back 0.375, which is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Start with our rectangle tool, starting at our origin, get our green dot. Stretch out a rectangle, type 7 on the keyboard, press the Tab key, type 7 on the keyboard, press Enter. And we're going to click Front in our World View Cube to view what we did. Green check mark, Finish Sketch. Go home. We're going to extrude, going in the flip direction, direction number 2. And we're going to highlight our distance A here, and we're going to enter in a distance of 0.375. Click OK. Next, we're going to take a 2D sketch, place it on our front view. Click Front in your World View Cube. Then we're going to create our rectangles. These slots that are in here are created with rectangles, and then we put fillets on them. We'll show you how to do that here. So we're going to get our rectangle tool. We're going to first start with a rectangle, stretch it out. The rectangle width is 5.5. Press the Tab key on the keyboard, and the rectangle height is 0.5, a half inch. Press Enter on the keyboard. Now we're going to take our dimensions so that this looks less cluttered, and we're going to put our dimensions and drag them inside the rectangle. Okay? Now we're going to dimension the location of this part. So we're going to dimension from the bottom of our part to the bottom of the rectangle we just drew. Place this off to the side, and this is going to be a dimension of 0.75, 3/4 of an inch. We also need to take and dimension again from the outside on the left part of my part to the side of my rectangle that we just drew, and we're going to bring this down. This dimension here is also going to be 0.75. Press Enter on the keyboard. It's going good. Let's try our next couple rectangles. Rectangle tool again. Stretch this rectangle out. For the horizontal dimension, 5.5 is what we're typing in. Press Tab. For our vertical dimension, 0.5. Enter on the keyboard. Once again, we're going to press the Escape key on the keyboard, and we're going to push our dimensions for this box inside of that box to reduce the clutter on the workpiece. Then we're going to dimension again from the top of this rectangle here to the bottom of the rectangle that we just drew. And this is also going to be 0.75. We also need to dimension from the left-hand side of our part to the left-hand side of the rectangle that we just drew. And this is going to be 0.75. Now we have those two smaller rectangles yet to go that are here. Okay, they're a little bit different size. Let's take a look at how to make those. We're going to use our rectangle tool again. This rectangle is 1.25 for a width. Press the Tab key. 0.5 for a height. Once again, we're going to take our dimensions, tuck them inside the box so it reduces the clutter on our work surface. And then we're going to dimension from the top of this rectangle here to the bottom of the rectangle we just drew. Bring this out to the side. 0.75 is the dimension for that. Then we're also going to dimension from the left-hand side of our part to the left-hand side of this rectangle. 0.75 for this dimension. Now we need another rectangle over here. So let's create that rectangle. Kind of put it in the right spot over on the right hand side. 1.25 for the width, press the Tab key, 0.5 for the height, press Enter on the keyboard. Once again, we're going to take and slide our dimensions into the box so it's not so cluttered looking, and then we're going to dimension from the top of this rectangle here to the bottom of the rectangle we just created, and this is going to be 0.75. Then we're going to take and dimension from the left hand side of our part to the left hand side of this rectangle that we just created. We're going to bring that all the way up and off to the part so that dimension's not going to interfere with us later on. And this dimension here is going to be 5 inches. Enter on the keyboard or a green check mark. Now let's get back to those rectangles that are a little bit larger again. We have 2 more yet to go, these 2 that are here. Using our rectangle tool, we're going to create our rectangle. This rectangle once again is 5.5. Press the Tab key on the keyboard, and the height of that rectangle is 0.5. Press Enter. Just like we did before, let's press the Escape key on the keyboard and push these dimensions inside of our box so it's not so cluttered looking. And then we're going to dimension the location of here. We want to dimension from the top of this rectangle to the bottom of the one we just drew. Bring that out to the side. This dimension is 0.75. Enter on the keyboard, or you can click the green check mark here. We need one more dimension here from the left hand side of our part to the left hand side of this rectangle. Bring that down. This dimension here, 0.75. Enter on the keyboard or click that green check mark. We have one more rectangle to go. Select our rectangle tool. Bring this rectangle out. This rectangle is once again 5.5. Press the Tab key on the keyboard. The vertical dimension on this rectangle is 0.5. Press Enter on the keyboard. Press the Escape key. Let's tuck these dimensions into the box. And now let's locate the position of this rectangle. We're going to use our Dimension tool from the top of this rectangle here to the bottom of this rectangle we just created. Bring that dimension out. And this dimension is 0.75. Green check mark in the box here, or Enter on the keyboard. We have one more dimension to go from the left hand side of our part to the left hand side of our rectangle we just created. Bring this dimension down. This dimension is once again 0.75. Enter on the keyboard or green check mark. Okay, now if we take a look at our part, we have the majority of it drawn, but now we have to create these fillets that are along the side to round over the sharp edge of those corners. To do that, we're going to use our fillet tool here. We're going to change the fillet dimension to 0.25. And then we're going to come over and let's start at the top. I'm going to click my top line and my side line. And I'm just going to keep going around this rectangle, clicking each edge until I have them rounded over. Okay? See what that looks like? All 4 corners of that rectangle are rounded over. Let's continue with the rest of them. Click all your corners. Make sure that line turns red when you click. Second one's done. Now we're on to these smaller ones. It kind of shows you a little green sample of where that fillet is going to be pushed in. And we got 2 more rectangles down here at the bottom in order to do as well. Make sure you take a look and don't forget any of the corners. Excellent. Once we have those all done, press Escape. Do a double check to make sure you have all the corners rounded over with those fillets. Once you double check that you have, click green check mark Finish Sketch at the top in the ribbon bar. And now we're going to extrude. We're going to take and extrude. We are going to select our slots first that we want to extrude. We're going to choose all of them, not one at a time. We're also going to take and flip that into the other direction, direction number 2, the flip direction. You see that they go all the way through? If we take a look at our trivet right here, on the side view it shows us that these slots are 0.19 in depth. Okay, going back to our part, let's change our dimension here to 0.19 and then click OK. Looking good, excellent. Now let's go up and save our part. We're going to go up to the top, go to File, go down to Save As. You're going to make sure that this is in your H drive, first initial last name 000. If this does not automatically select for you, click on your pull down arrow here in the menu and you're going to choose the last one down at the bottom. Okay? And we're going to call this, highlight the file name, and you're going to type your last name, and then you're going to call it Trivet, Trivet. Once you have that done, then we're going to click Save. Make sure it's in your H drive. Congratulations on drawing the CAD portion of this part. We're going to move next to the next video on how to create the CAM toolpaths. Okay? Take a break, go to the next video. We'll see you there.